Hi everyone, how are we today? Just doing an all signs reading today, looking ahead through November. Bit of just a general sort of check-in for the November energy with this particular reading. But as you can see, we are looking at your wild ways in November. Okay, so kind of channeling the Ellen of the Ways, which is an ancient British goddess. She's the protector of paths and journeys, a guardian of the wild. All right, so embracing our wild natures for November, seeing what's coming in store for you. I do just want to give a huge shout out to everybody who has actually been a part of the amazing push that some of my videos have seen lately. I really appreciate all your views. It really does mean the world to me, and all the extra subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you do check out all the other Halloween readings. This is a kind of a set of 3, so we're going to be doing. We've already done the career, or more so money and abundance reading. You'll see me in the little alien gear, and today we're doing the general for November, and then the next reading will be love for November as well. So definitely make sure you subscribe so you can check out those readings. I do really, once again, super from the bottom of my heart, appreciate everybody who has been, adding to that view count. I can't believe that we hit over 10K on one of those recent videos. It's absolutely amazing, and thank you all so much. I do really appreciate it. It is a small non-monetized channel, and so I do really appreciate each and every one of you that are coming through, whether you're here to stay or not. I do really appreciate your time and effort in watching, so thank you. Today we are using, this is the Wild Animal Spirit Oracle. Okay, and we also have the primitive lenormand. We will be splitting the month start, middle, and end of November, seeing what's coming through for the whole month as a whole, but also with the months, like the month sectioned out into start, middle, and end as well. Timestamps in the description box, as well as all my personal information if you do want to, follow me on other socials or email me for a personal reading. I do really love all the contact that I get from all you guys. We will be running a competition very soon as well, so definitely keep an eye out for that. All right, but starting today with our Aries. All right. Aries, what is going on for Aries in November? The wild ways of Aries throughout November. Bit of an overview card for our Aries, please, throughout November. Okay, Aries, we're seeing the adaptable armadillo coming through for you here. Okay, so this is all about security, toughness, boundaries. Cautious creature of the forest, lend me your armor for self-defense. Okay, so this is all about adapting throughout the month of November, and yes, being guarded to some extent, but also still knowing when to curl up, when to put up that armor and curl up into a ball and protect yourself, but also when to adapt to the situation and open up and be a bit more friendly and less cautious. That for a lot of you don't have to always be so tough. That there is this soft underlayer of the armadillo energy there, and it's also a very adaptable energy, adapting to the situation around it. So it's kind of all about knowing when you need to protect yourself. And also, because I am picking up something here about communication, about that as well, about your boundaries. So there may be a need to communicate your boundaries just a little bit more, rather than just curling up in that ball, rather than just displaying your boundaries, you're maybe needing to communicate those a little bit more this month as well. Okay, but splitting the month up for you, start, middle, and end, Aries. The wild ways of Aries throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for our Aries. Okay, so it does seem as though that armadillo energy is probably a little bit more prominent for you, Aries, right at the start of November here, okay? Because we do see the fox energy coming through for the start of November, along with the bouquet, the flowers, all right? So this is all about giving to the ways that you need to survive here, the more that you're giving to yourself, and, you know, maybe even needing to be a little bit, you know, more open to receive rather than open to give throughout the start of the month here, that you're, you know, you're really sort of weighing the pros and cons a little bit here of what you're actually receiving, and really taking that on board of paying attention to what you're receiving, and maybe needing to put up some boundaries around that. The fox is really good at putting up boundaries. It's very intelligent, very clever at how it's putting up those boundaries, and you know, doing so out of a need to survive. It does what it needs to do for itself. It doesn't necessarily concern itself, you know, with, I'm hearing the phrase quarrels of men. All right. So, so for some of you, there may be some stuff going on around you that you're kind of needing to, that's what you're protecting yourself from here. You're kind of going, I'm not going to get involved in that, is what I'm picking up here. I'm not going to give to that. So you're really thinking very carefully about what you are giving your energy to, your time to, throughout the start of the month. And I just kind of feel as though, you know, this is, it feels energy of something around you rather than something directly in your life here. So it's kind of that energy of, you know, like when there's something, you know, a fight going on between co-workers and things like that. And if you sort of get involved in that and get in the middle of that, then you get dragged into that issue. Whereas if you stay out of that, which you seem to be wanting to do or needing to do here at the start of the month, and the fox is also a one of the career related cards as well. So for a lot of you, this may actually be career related at the start of the month here, just sort of needing to really, really, really pay attention to what you're giving your time and your energy to, and is that actually serving you in any way by giving your time to that, or not? If you're not receiving from that, don't give to that kind of thing. So just being very, you know, thoughtful about what boundaries you're putting up, about how involved you're getting in other people's messes, I kind of feel here. The middle of the month, we do see the blessing coming through with the masculine energy. So, you know, the masculine is actually very tied in with that fox energy, very similar, very intelligent kinds of energies. This is all about being very logical, and so the blessings that you're receiving are, you know, the blessings of logic, and the blessings of rationality, and the blessings of control over situations, and control of, you know, what exactly you are letting in and receiving from situations, you know, what you're letting in, what you're giving out. So you're really sort of getting this you know, it's about healing, it's about overcoming and achievement. We do see a key imagery in this card as well. So, you know, there is a lot of success, and once again, it is a career card. I am seeing a lot of career connection for you with this reading. Even though we did do the career sort of stuff yesterday, so maybe check out that abundance reading, Aries, as well. But this is all about, you know, doing what is right for yourself in a very sort of productive, logical manner. You're being very rational with the way that you're giving your time and your energy to things around you, in order to receive the most of the blessings that you have available to you here. It's very protective energy, protective of yourself, and your own, you know, survival, once again coming through there. The end of November, we do see the heart and the fish. This, once again, we do have that money connection here with the fish coming through. Heart is where the money is for you this month, Aries. That, you know, not so much money. It is more about abundance and wealth. So for some of you, this may just be a wealth of love coming in for you at the end of November here. You know, it's kind of that heart space where you allow abundance and wealth in, and really sort of stop swimming upstream so much. I feel here, Aries, that it's a bit softer of an energy here. It's more about, you know, finding things that you're passionate about that also make you money. That kind of seems to be what it is here. There's a lot of passion and love for what you're doing with the heart space here. And it's kind of also this side message of, you know, if your heart is full, then so will your pockets be. So, you know, it's for some of you, it may be the need to focus a little bit more on, the love and the romance in your life, regardless of, if that's platonic or actually romantic love. You're sort of really paying attention and receiving the love from the, your close ones here, so that you can then feel more fulfilled in other aspects of your life as well. So it's kind of this energy of, the more love that you're open to in your personal life, the more money that is actually leading to in the future for you here, especially around the end of the month here. Something that may happen for some of you here is something that you love may come into fruition on a monetary side of things, on a material side of things. So something that you've maybe been, it could just be, oh, I love those earrings, and they come into your life, that kind of thing. So it could just be something small like that, but it could also be something much, much bigger. So for some of you, this could actually be, especially I'm picking up for the single Aries, you may actually be, connecting with somebody at the end of November, where it kind of makes you realize that having this person in your life somehow makes your bank bigger, your wallet fatter. So there's something about this person that's in your love life that it's kind of this flow-on effect. The more love that you've got here, the more money you end up with as well. So it's very interesting. So for some of you too, with the blessings, the flowers, and the fish all coming through here with that heart, some of you may be receiving gifts from somebody this month as well. So you may be sort of, that may be connected to the blessings that you're receiving this month. You may be, once again, we're seeing you starting the month off very open to receiving and really paying attention to what you're receiving. So, it's kind of, it feels a bit overdue for some of you that it's time that you actually do start receiving in a material way, not just in, an esoteric kind of way here, Aries. So it does look like it might be a very sort of career-driven month for a lot of you. But once again, like I said, the fuller your heart, the fatter your wallet this month. All right. So there's just some sort of payoff there when it comes to, having a full heart sort of has this flow-on effect to other areas of your life. So very interesting for you there, Aries. But you're more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to keep an eye out for the other videos covering the November energy. And we will move on over to our Taurus. Okay, Taurus. Wild ways of Taurus throughout November. That wild Taurus energy. The wild path for Taurus in November, please. We have the noble narwhal coming through for you. This always gives very much like unicorn type of energy that, anything is possible, because, it was... a lot of people don't believe that narwhals even exist, because a lot of people just presume that that's not a real thing. So let me know in the comments, like, when did you realize that narwhals were actually a real creature? It's all about resilience, creativity, uniqueness. So once again, that unicorn kind of vibe where anything is possible. The uniqueness is what matters. The being different from everything else, and so different that it's unbelievable, is very important. Oh, and then look at this. It even says on the card, mystic unicorn of the sea, endow me with the gift of individuality. Okay, so I love that. I'm here referring to this as a unicorn, and then it even said that on the card. I didn't even read that as of yet. But this is giving, very, once again, noble, unique individuality it's talking about here. So it's really not being afraid of the things that separate you from others this month. Okay, so really, really thinking about those things and realizing, and I do feel I'm just kind of picking up here for a lot of you Taurus. There's sort of giving like epiphany energy, that you may be sort of having some sort of epiphany about yourself, and realizing that, hang on, that uniqueness that I've always tried to hide, or I've always tried to blend in with, it's time to stop doing that, and it's time to allow that to come through and show everyone that, yeah, I am unique. Yeah, I am creative. I'm hearing the phrase, let the freak flag fly. Okay, so that may be relevant for some of you this month as well. Really, really letting that uniqueness out to play. But looking through your month here, Taurus. Wild ways of Taurus throughout November. The wild ways of Taurus throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for Taurus. Wow, what a great month for you, Taurus. Not going to lie, the collective energy is actually that November is going to be a pretty good month for majority of people. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. We're moving into a much more auspicious kind of energy into November here. The end of October and the start of November are strong positive shifts for people. The start of November, we're seeing for you the Heart and the Rider. So love coming into your life in some sort of way at the start of November. I do feel, once again, it's giving that epiphany energy. So I do feel that for a lot of you, this is actually, the good news on the way with that Rider is good news, Taurus. You actually realize that you love yourself, or you love that part of yourself that you've tried to hide, that you've tried to, deny exists, or, you've tried to suppress. You're kind of like, oh, actually, I actually really love that about myself. Like, I don't know why I've been like so weird about that. So it's kind of, once again, that letting that freak flag fly, and it's coming in with love coming in for you here, and it seems to be for a lot of you self-love in a new kind of way that you just kind of, it feels a little bit like unexpected, and all of a sudden it's just kind of this like, oh, good news, I don't have that shame anymore. Oh, good news, I don't hate that part of myself anymore. It's like really lightening, and like it feels like it lightens you to realize this about yourself, and to realize that actually people really like that about me. I've been trying to hide this quality of myself for a while, and like I'm noticing like people actually really like that about me. So why am I hiding this? I should express this and show people that I am this. So very interesting. And I feel for a lot of you too, it's got to do with your love and the way that you express love. And for a lot of you, you may have been trying to hide and suppress, being overly emotional or caring too much, those sorts of things. And so I think for a lot of you, that's what it actually is, that you're realizing, do you know what? I don't care if people think I care too much. That's who I am. That's part of my truth. And I'm not going to deny it anymore. That is part of who I am. I care. Is that such a bad thing? Yes, sometimes it means I get hurt. But all in all, that's on them that hurt me. That's not on me. That's actually a really good quality. I don't know why I shy away from showing that and holding that within myself. So I feel like that's a really sort of a positive shift just within yourself for a lot of you here, Taurus. The middle of the month, this one's pretty straightforward, guys. We have the Fish and the Tree. Okay, Fish is all about abundance, about money. The tree is healing and growth. Okay, so if you've been having financial struggles, they are healing. All right. If you are not having financial struggles, but just wanting to grow your financial situation in some kind of way, that is what is happening. For some of you, this is financial wisdom and branching out in some way financially. So you may be sort of doing things financially that you haven't done before, using a lot of maturity and wisdom in what you're doing financially. So you may be investing. I am picking up investing for some of you. You may be branching out and investing in something new, or investing for the first time in something. We do see that the fish, I'm hearing the word sardines for some reason to do with that fish. So that may have some connection for some of you here. Sardines help make you money somehow. I have no idea what that means, but I'll leave that with you, Taurus. Basically, it's the growth of money. in the middle of November here, the healing of your money situation and your finances and your sense of abundance. Okay, quite a lot of the time, abundance and wealth is a lot more than just money, but I do feel that this is very material for a lot of you here. It's kind of just talking about bank balance, and you can even see in this tree here, we see all the plus signs. We do also see the little pictures of the family, okay, family tree. But so maybe, for some of you, we may be helping family grow their financial situation, or there's some sort of family connection that is helping grow your finances here. But, we just keep seeing the plus signs. We just keep seeing the plus signs, things going into the plus instead of the minus for you in the middle of November here. And, at the end of the month, we have the blessing and we have the bed. Okay, so your blessings are here, Taurus. So it's time you can go to bed and you can rest easy. Is pretty much at the end of November. That's pretty much all it's wanting me to say, is that your blessings are here. You can rest easy. With that bed energy, that's all about rest. For some of you, this may be a blessing in the sexual area as well. We all know beds are pretty much two things. It's either sleep or sex. So we're having blessings in rest or, the physical stuff. Okay. So if you've been, I feel like the physical stuff, it's sort of, for those of you who've been feeling that has been lacking, rather than, everyone within the collective. It seems to be a little bit more specific to those of you where that has been lacking up till now. You can kind of rest easy because you're now moving into blessings in that zone as well. Okay, Taurus. So all in all, I feel like you're on track to have a great November. I really enjoy that for you. Make sure you do check out those other readings and, any other placements you would like to check as well. Subscribe, of course, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Pardon. Okay, Gemini, the wild ways of our Geminis. Gemini, wild energy for Gemini in November. I feel the need to say guiding Gemini throughout November on this wild journey. Oh, the observant octopus. Oh, straight away I'm picking up a few things here, but I'll tell you what the card itself says. Complexity, multitasking, ingenuity. Sorry, it took me a second. Shape-shifting guardian of the sea, grant me the power of transformation. Okay, so this really does talk about transformation and finding different ways of doing things. So if this one thing's not working, try something else. If that's not working, try something else. If that's not working, try something else. You've got eight little tentacles here. But it is also, the octopus does come through with, it's called the observant octopus for a reason, because, they pay attention to what's going on around them. They're very, very clever. All right. So they use their brain as well. They don't shy away from that. But it's kind of, I feel like for a lot of you, it's being very observant about the multitasking and about, okay, well, when is too much too much? That if I've got all these different things on my plate, which are the things I need to actually, dedicate just a little bit more time to, and how can I change these other things so that, I can have these other tentacles going over here while I'm focusing on these main things. So what doesn't need quite as much attention as the main things here. So I feel as though that may be something to think of throughout November. Like when is too much, and if things do start to get a little bit too much with the multitasking stuff, and your little hands in too many different pots here, for you this month the limit is 8. All right, you're limited to 8 things at once on the go. So whatever those things are, if you're focusing on your love life and you're, focusing on your money, and then you've got these other little projects that you're working on, you're really needing to think about, maybe 2 or 3 that you're focusing on as your priority, and giving, an extra tentacle to 1 or 2 of those things, rather than having those, all those 8 little tentacles out in in other little pots, so I feel like for a lot of you, you're really needing to observe, what needs the priority here. I'm getting like a tingly, shivery kind of feeling up the back of my left side there, up the back of my neck. So that it's also telling me that may be, a bit of a sign for you guys that, when you get that feeling, you kind of realize, okay, I need to really focus on that. All right. So that thing that gives you that little shiver, that, that little tingle, that's the thing I need to focus on the most. Because I'm just kind of getting this thing that everything else is kind of less focus is actually better for those things, if that makes sense. Like you're still observant and watching them and keeping an eye on those things, but they're not your main focus, if that kind of makes sense here. But we'll have a look at how the month goes here for you. Gemini, the wild ways of Gemini throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for Gemini. Okay. So once again, we're getting, with the octopus energy and things all over the place a little bit here. We do kind of see that energy for you here at the start of November. We have the garden and the clouds coming out here. Now, the garden is a very sort of social card. It's a very active energy. It's a very getting out of the house and doing things and, going to events and accepting invitations and meeting up with friends, going on dates and all that sort of stuff. So I do feel as though there's a lot of things going on for you at the start of November. You may be going to a lot of different events and things like that. You may feel as though you have lots of different little things planned to go to. Like even if it's just meeting up with friends, or even if it's just wanting to go to the park and things like that. But it's kind of like while you're at all these little things, your little mind is going a million miles an hour behind the scenes. So it's kind of telling me here, Gemini, that it's not so much a warning per se, but it's kind of like just letting you know that, the more things that you're out and about doing, it doesn't mean that it's going to stop all the thoughts. And it doesn't mean it's going to stop all the stress and anxiety either. That having something, even while you're doing things, your brain is going to be doing 20 other things. Okay, so it's kind of a bit of overthinking happening for you here. And, I feel like for a lot of you, you are kind of trying to use the social stuff to get yourself out of your head, but it's kind of wanting you to know that that's not going to get you out of your head. The thing that is going to get you out of your head is really stopping and thinking about, okay, I'm overthinking about every little thing here, but what if I prioritize so that I can think maybe just about one thing going on in my brain at once, and then I can work through my list here. So it's kind of telling me to sort of slow things down a little bit in the way that you're overthinking, because you've just got too many different tangents on the go here. It's kind of like your thoughts are very social. Your thoughts are on, a group of people, not just one person, which is you. So you're giving thought to that, and then this, and then that, and then this, rather than just on one thing at a time. So really try to rein it in a little bit at the start of November, and you will find a lot more steadiness within yourself, and the way that you are actually able to process things. It will go a little bit more smoothly for you, and you will sort of find a little bit more silver linings in those clouds. All right. The middle of the month here, Gemini, we do see the letter and the stars. I'm very intrigued by that, Gemini, because the letter is communication, that is expression. And that actually feels like you expressing your wishes and desires. Stars is the things that you wish for, the desires that you have, the hopes and dreams that you want to see fulfilled. You can kind of see, you know, here with the little telescope looking at the stars. So you're looking, trying to work out what are my goals and how can I start to get those achieved. And it does feel very specific for a lot of you here. Okay, so for a lot of you, this is, you know, expressing a specific desire to a specific person, I want to say. For some of you here, this really does feel like you approaching somebody and saying, look, I wish for XYZ. What can we do to make that wish come true? So I do really feel like for some of you here, this might be a love connection. I'm just going to clarify that. The middle of November for Gemini, please clarify the letter and the stars, please. We do have the book here. So, you know, it could be, and I've got the ring on the bottom of the deck. So for a lot of you, it is going to be a relationship connection here. But it's, you know, so some of you, you're expressing your desire to learn more about somebody, to, you know, want to, you're expressing, look, I want my next chapter to be you, kind of thing. For some of you here with that relationship card coming through as well. But others of you, this is, you know, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm embracing the mystery and I'm willing to search for this kind of thing, that I'm expressing to you that this is my desire, and I'm expressing it to you because I'm, you know, I'm willing to embrace the mystery of seeing what could be there in these dreams and wishes. Maybe it's not going to be exactly what I wished for, but I'm willing to, you know, learn and see how can I get to these dreams and things like that. Education. Some of you maybe specifically, you know, the goal might be some sort of education or further training. But it keeps telling me it's got to do with a person for a lot of you. So for some of you, it's specifically telling me you're expressing your wishes to somebody, but you're also kind of coming in saying, look, I'm willing to learn. I might not know exactly how to be the person that you need and the wish that you want. This is my wish. What do I need to learn? What do I need to, you know, learn about you in order for us to make this work? So I'm kind of picking up very strongly on that message for a lot of you there, Gemini. The end of the month, we do see the stork and the bed coming through. Okay, so Gemini, very, very strong energy here that you could be, that's my pregnancy card, okay? The stork is my pregnancy card, and the bed quite often talks about the physical bed stuff. All right, so the spiciness, right? So obviously be careful what I say on YouTube, but you know, it is spicy sexy time. But for some of you, it's rest. It's because you've been so busy and you've got so many different ideas on what you need to do. There is the need for a bit of extra rest and relaxation at the end of November here, Gemini. But I do feel that for a lot of you, this is, you know, stirring up the passion in your loins. That's the phrasing that it's coming through here. But the stork really stirs things up and gets things moving. But it is also, you know, that idea generation sort of phase where we're coming up with new ideas on how we can spice things up a little bit, how we can get things moving and shaking, you know, so there might be something coming through at the end of the month in regard to sex for you there, Gemini, and specifically shaking things up, spicing things up, you know, getting things moving again in the way that you want here. So for some of you, that is specifically connected to that wish, that desire that you're expressing. You're really trying to come up with ideas on how to get that moving on a physical level, as well as, you know, whatever the goal, wish for the relationship, you know. So we do see a relationship as well, but, you know, it's wanting to progress physically at the end of the month there. All right, so that's what we're seeing for you, Gemini. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Cancers. Okay, Cancer. The wild ways of Cancer in November. The wild ways of Cancer throughout November, please. Okay, Cancer. The tenacious tiger coming through for you, Cancer. Willpower, strength, and resolve. That one says, fiery fur and wild stripes, bless me with your passion and power. Ooh. Pardon me. So a lot of passion and power, strength and resolve. So standing strong in what you believe, and not being tempted into, tempted astray kind of thing. You're not I feel like for a lot of you there's something here about you're not taking the easy way. You're willing to do things the hard way, and you're not just going to take the easy way out. You're willing to, stand strong. You've got the resolve and the determination to see this through. There is also something coming through about stripes or striped or stripy. Stripe. Something about stripes is coming through. It's actually showing me like zebra stripes rather than tiger stripes. Obviously very similar kind of idea there, but stripes, but like tiger stripes as well can refer to stretch marks. So there might be something about that coming through for some of you here through this month. But we'll have a look here, Cancer, and see what's going on. Okay, Cancer. Wild ways of Cancer throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for Cancer. There's that resolve, definitely. Oh, Cancer. Strength on the bottom of the deck. Strength and power. So you're really standing tall and strong in what you want and what you believe in this month, okay? And don't let anyone tell you otherwise kind of energy that, this might take work. It might take a bit of work. We have the mountain and the letter coming through here, but we're also with the letter there, we're communicating about the work and about the resolve that we have, that, look, I'm determined to see this through, that I know that this might take work, but do you know what? I'm willing to do it. So whatever this is for you this month, it's putting your best foot forward in the way that you're communicating that you're willing to do the hard work. You're willing to persevere. You're willing to overcome any obstacle thrown in your path in order to, stand your ground for what you believe in and what you want. For a lot of you, the middle of the month really shows us what this is all about for a lot of you, because we do have the heart and the tree. Okay, so that's our love life is healing, our love life is growing, our romance, our understanding of what love is growing and healing. Love for our family, love for, love in a much more mature, wise kind of a way. And you're putting in the work to express that you want to overcome any issues you've had around love, and you want to put in the work to heal your heart space and grow love within yourself and within your life. And that seems to be what exactly you're willing to, it's kind of like you've got this resolve that it doesn't matter what color the stripe is, I'm willing to put in the work because I believe in this. I'm going to overcome any challenge that you put in my way here, any delay that I have to put up with. I'm ready to do the work, and I want to heal, and I want to grow, and I am going to. And there's no ifs and buts about it, because you are going to, and you've got, so much strength on your side this month. You honestly, like, we're seeing the mountain there. We're seeing the tree, which is another card of strength. On the bottom of the deck, we had the bear, which is, the card of strength and power. And then here at the end of the month, once again, we do have strength coming through with we have the market and then the sun. And the sun is another strength card. Okay. So, the market is, for a lot of you, it's about trade and like the trade-off and not selling yourself short, and you're selling yourself up kind of energy. The market is kind of technically a job card, but it's not giving me like business energy. It's just talking about the trade-off and the trade, like you're willing to trade honesty for reward kind of thing. Because the sun talks about bringing things to light, and so you're trading truth in order to receive happiness. The sun is the happiest card in the deck, so it's kind of like the more that you're giving of yourself and putting in that hard work to grow your heart space, and I feel for a lot of you this is all about sharing that love, not hiding it anymore, expressing it. We did see the card of expression up here for you as well this month. And the sun is a very expressive energy as well. You're bringing it all out into the light, and you're not hiding in the darkness anymore. You're trading off a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of, I'm going to give you some of the darker parts of me so that it can come out into the sun, and that we can just focus on happiness. And because where does the sun sit? It sits above the mountain. We're seeing that you are willing to climb to get to that. You're willing to do what is necessary. You're willing to put in the work here to take care of your heart and do what is necessary to be more mature and more loving and grow and heal your heart, so that we can end the month in happiness and, happy out in the sunshine, kind of warmth energy. So the trade, whatever you're trading in with this, the work that you're putting in, it's a good trade, because it results in you receiving all this happiness and this warmth and this lovely energy at the end of the month. It feels beautiful. It does. Especially with the heart and the tree there in the middle. So, growth and healing and love energy combined with that sun energy. It's you just have the power of this happiness shining for you this month. Everything's going to shine for you as long as you're willing to put in that work and be that tenacious little tiger and roar your way into it, because you're standing there and roaring in the face of anyone trying to tell you differently, because you've got the power on your side this month. The power is you, and your drive to receive positive energy, and you're going to get it. Regardless of what anyone says here, Cancer, you're going to get it, because you're so determined to get it. You will get it. There's sort of nothing that can kind of stop you this month from what I'm seeing here. All right, so a very interesting month for you, Cancer. And don't be shy of a little bit of hard work, even if it's hard, even if you have to trade some of the more vulnerable pieces of yourself to get what you want this month. You really are going to stand tall and proud within your own self this month. Okay, so I really love that for you. But you are more than welcome to check your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo, your wild ways in November. The wild ways of Leo throughout November, please. Leo, we have the earnest elephant coming through for you. Bit of a good luck charm there, Leo, and you probably need it. Gentleness, temperance, goodwill, pillar of patience and kindness. Bless my heart with your gentle nature. Okay, so like I said, a bit of a blessing there to see the elephant. They are quite revered in a few different cultures there. And it is really just about, being patient with yourself, being patient with your life, Leo. No matter what's been going on for you and your personal situation here, you're needing that to bring in a little bit more gentleness towards yourself and towards your life. Like, because I'm just picking up this energy here that the more that you are, rebelling against the things that are happening in your life, the more that you're, putting on this hard front, kind of you versus everything, the harder things are going to be on you a little bit here. So needing to be a little bit gentler with yourself and be a little bit more gentle with, the concept of understanding that the things that are happening in your life are actually happening for your highest good, even when it doesn't seem that way. So I feel like a lot of you may be going through some rougher stuff, or you have been going through some sort of rougher stuff, and really just needing to be a little bit more gentle with yourself and kinder to, the universe a little bit here, that these things are actually happening for your highest good, even when it doesn't feel that way. All right, but we'll have a look at the month and see how things are looking for you throughout. Leo, the wild ways of Leo throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for our Leos, please. Yeah, so definitely coming from some harder energy at obviously the end of October, maybe through a little bit of November here. It has been just a bit rough on you. But, we do have the flowers on the bottom of the deck. So you really need to, question the energy that you're giving right now. When it comes to, are we giving positive energy? Are we giving gentleness? Are we giving hope for our situation, rather than focusing on the negatives and dwelling, and getting a little bit stuck in the more negative energy? Okay, the start of the month, we do see the Tower and the Coffin coming through. So, there has been some structural difficulties, so to speak. The Tower does talk about, a period of isolation coming to an end, a period of, foundational changes in your life that have, things that have been ending, that have kind of been shaking the foundations of your life a little bit here, Leo. But the Coffin is also a rebirth in of itself. Every ending is actually a rebirth. It's just about the way that we're looking at that. That death is just the beginning, kind of thing. So the death of a few things in your life. I want to say, from October going into the start of November here, we have sort of been suffering some, heartache and structural difficulties. The way that our life has been structured has been sort of having some very rupturous changes going on. All right. For some of you, there may have been some governmental issues or legal issues that are now coming to an end at the start of November here. So once again, that ending, bringing in that rebirth energy, the transformative kind of energy there, coming through for you, that you're kind of closing the lid on that chapter of the negative stuff, I feel, for a lot of you, and starting to, in the middle of the month here, start to look towards the more positive hopes and dreams. We have the stars and then the feminine coming through here for you. Okay, so the feminine energy here really softens the blow a little bit, and you're starting to understand that, hang on, this is not, it's not an end to hope. It's not an end to my dreams. It's a chance for me to nurture those in a different way. It's a chance for me to rewrite my dreams and hopes and aspirations. The things that I wish for, and the way that I hope, and the way that I hold optimism. It's time for me to be a little bit softer with myself, a little bit more gentle elephant with myself, and, realize that, hang on, maybe these things that have been, feeling like this scary tower, this scary coffin energy, maybe that if I be a little bit softer with myself about those things, that maybe I'm not losing goals. I'm just, I'm not losing the stars. I'm remapping them. I'm resetting the goals, and it's an opportunity to, start all over afresh and sort of map from where I can see, rather than, mapping a star system that I can't see, sort of thing. Does that kind of make sense, that weird analogy, Leo? But it's about being softer with yourself, and about realizing that it's your opportunity to rewrite the heavens for yourself this month here, and really work out where this puts you in alignment with, rather than the goals that you may have had, if certain things have changed about those goals and dreams that you've held in the past. You're now being given this opportunity to rewrite them in a way that is so much better for you in the long run, and more in tune with the softer sides of yourself as well. So you're able to now nurture hope in a new kind of a way. We do see at the end of the month here, we do have the snake and the fox coming through. Okay, so it is a little bit of a heavier energy at the end of November, I'm not going to lie. It does feel like it's a standalone event occurring at the end of November here, because the message I'm receiving is being deceived by the fox, which is the trickster. Okay, so there's a trickster in your energy at the end of November here that you may very well be deceived by or tempted by. It's an illusion, it's a temptation, it's a deception. Like, it really does feel like a deception. The fox is very sneaky, very tricky kind of energy, with the snake alongside it here. It's someone trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Okay, so it's someone trying to, like, they're showing you, I'm giving you this, Leo, but while they're giving you this, they're taking all of that. So it's really telling me this energy of someone trying to give you something but taking so much more. It's a pulling the wool over your eyes. Look, I'm going to distract you with this, I'm going to give you this, but under the surface they're taking and taking and taking. I just want to clarify that one for you, Leo. But, it does feel like a very standalone kind of event. It doesn't feel like an ongoing issue. It feels like a very, one and done kind of thing. Clarify this energy for Leo at the end of November, please. Okay, so we have the whip and then the tree. Trouble, drama, tension. We already knew that from what we were already seeing with the snake and the fox. Someone stirring trouble, someone causing trouble. They're kind of like, I'm trying to give you this, Leo, but really, under the surface, they're just starting drama. They're just trying to cause a fight. They're trying to act. It's kind of like someone who's trying to act like, oh, I'm just doing this in your best interest, Leo. But then they're not actually, because they're just trying to start a drama. They're just trying to start a fight. I do want to say with the tree here, it doesn't actually feel so much like okay, it kind of feels like a clue to who this is. And I'm getting two messages off that tree. Either it's a Virgo, or this is somebody who is kind of like, the reason that they need to start drama is for their own healing in some kind of way. That in order to make themselves feel better about themselves, that's why they need to start this with you. So it's a little bit, they're serving their own interests, which we do see already with the fox, but then the tree is compounding that a little bit with, it's actually that it's kind of trying to make themselves feel better about themselves kind of energy. They're like, if they can start a fight with you, and you latch onto that, then they can blame it all on you. That's the underhandedness I'm getting here. Someone's trying to blame you for everything, but really that's the only way that they can feel better about themselves, and is they're trying to pass the buck. They're trying to put it all on you so that they can play the victim, is what I'm picking up here. You know, we do also have Scorpio energy there as well. So it could be a Scorpio or a Virgo placement person. I'm sort of getting that it is probably more Virgo rather than a Scorpio, to be honest. But it just feels like somebody who's a little bit unhealed just within their own self, and a bit of a play the victim type person. So just be aware of that at the end of November. Just don't jump to it. Does that make sense? Like, just, it's kind of this energy of, once you're, you know, pre-warned is pre-armed kind of thing. So if you know, remember that and hold on to that and kind of keep your eye out for the trickster, for someone who's just trying to start drama, you'll see it for what it is rather than seeing the distraction on the surface. All right, so just be aware of that, Leo. But all in all, I feel like you are, you know, this is actually opportunities for you to, you know, rewrite your path and rewrite where your life is going from here. This month might be, you know, yes, it may be a little bit of turmoil here and there, but it's really kind of a clarifying month for you to really work out what comes next. All right, so it helps you sort of really see things a little bit clearer in that sense. All right, but that's what we have for you. More than welcome to check your other placements. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll move on to Virgo. Virgo, the wild ways of our Virgos. The wild Virgo energy for November, please. Okay, the modest mouse. Contentment, stealth, humbleness. Tiny keeper of inner strength, help me unlock my hidden potential. So this is it's kind of straight away telling me here, Virgo, that in a lot of ways this month might feel rather insignificant to you. But it's kind of the small things that matter this month. It's one of those months where there might not be any, you know, huge, big, dramatic things going on, but the small things seem to be what really matters at the minute. It's kind of, I'm getting that, you know, for a lot of you, contentment and peace and happiness, it kind of creeps up on you this month, and you're thinking like, oh, nothing huge and dramatic is going on, and you're kind of like, oh, is this what okay feels like, kind of energy. It does. Tiny keeper of inner strength, help me unlock my inner potential. Hidden potential. I'm getting like there's something hidden, a secret, but it's only something very small. It's a very modest, small. It's not a bad secret, if that makes sense. Just something that you're maybe becoming a little bit more aware of this month. But we'll see what's coming through for you here, Virgo. Okay, Virgo. Virgo. Wild ways of our Virgos throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for Virgo. I did just have one flip out separately as well, Virgo. Interesting. The one that kind of came out by itself, we have the cross coming through. All right, so it's kind of like, as a whole, the month, it's feeling a bit, once again, it's just feeling like, I know there's meaning here, but I'm not sure what it is, kind of a month. Feeling maybe burdened by some stuff that's already happened, you know, especially around the start of the month. You probably will be feeling quite, burdened, more so probably from work and responsibilities. All right, but as the month goes on, you're kind of getting a little bit more in touch with your spiritual self and your sense of, is this it? Is this it? Is this what fate has in store for me? Okay, like it's not feeling dramatic. Like I know that sounds a bit weird, but it's not feeling dramatic. It's just feeling like these small little realizations of like, oh well, yeah, that's just my responsibilities. I'm sorting that out. That's fine. Okay, moving on. What else? And you're like, oh, there's nothing else to deal with. Oh, okay. Kind of that energy. The start of the month, we have the mountain and the clouds coming through. So you think you need to put in more work than you actually do, right? You're thinking that these responsibilities and these burdens are heavier than they actually are. The mountain does talk about, obstacles that you need to overcome and challenges and things like that, but you're thinking about them. They're not actually there as much as you're building it up in your head, kind of thing. That you're overthinking these obstacles and delays and challenges and blockages. You're overthinking the amount of work that you're going to have to put in here, and when all in all, it's not actually that hard for you, Virgo. It's kind of just, oh, is that it? Oh, okay, well, moving on. The middle of the month, we do see the bouquet and the stars coming through here. The bouquet is giving, it's receiving, it's giving into your desires, it's giving into the things that you truly wish for, your goals, your aspirations, having a lot of hope and faith that everything will, work out, and you're willing to give it your all, and you know that you will receive in return. So it's, you're giving time and effort to achieve your goals. You're willing to put in the work, but you're kind of like, oh, is that all? Like, I thought that was going to take more work than that. It just feels quite natural for you this month, to be honest. The end of the month, though, we do see that mouse energy again. Okay, we have the mice coming through with the ship. That kind of comes through as a little bit specific for some of you here too. For some of you, it's kind of like the loss of travel, the loss of a travel experience. Like a journey that was never taken. Somehow, there's some wishes connected to, you're wanting to give to maybe a journey that was never taken. So maybe you lost an opportunity to go on a trip in the past, and now you're kind of thinking about that again. How can I actually undertake that journey that was lost to me? That kind of thing. It doesn't really feel as much as in the past. It's just like a small issue around travel for some of you here. So, it could just be car troubles. It could just be, I do want to warn some of you here for loss of license for some reason. That's coming up. Because the mice does talk about loss in the Lenormand. And I am picking up loss of license for some of you, like a lost journey, a lost ship, like passing ships in the night kind of thing, that you lost your opportunity to undertake a journey, and it just seems to be, it doesn't seem to be like actually happening in November. It just seems to be on your mind in November, where you're really thinking about that, and I feel like that's impacting the way that you're forming your dreams and your goals, and the way that you give to, the things that you wish for, because you are taking these lost journeys into consideration. So, that you're maybe giving to a goal that was once a lost journey in some way to you. For some of you, it's a journey, like I'm getting like it was a journey with somebody. So it's kind of like you maybe thought a journey was going somewhere, but the journey ended and you felt as though it was taken from you in some kind of a way. But you're kind of reforming your wishes around that, reforming the way that you give to your desire for that. Okay, so, but like I said, it does feel like it's a bit more of a spiritual thing, like a fate kind of thing, coming through here. And once again, it's just small. It's not necessarily anything hugely impactful for you this month. This month really just feels like one of those months where, oh, is that it? Like, oh, okay, it's just one of those months where it's just a very modest month. It's very chill and accepting of contentment and nothing hugely dramatic, good or bad. And sometimes those months are actually, in retrospect, a lot of the time they're the ones we look back at it like, wow, my life was so just peaceful and chill. And then things go crazy again. So, enjoy it while you've got it, Virgo. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Libras. Okay, Libra. Libra, the wild ways of Libra. Wild ways for Libra throughout November, please. Libra in November. Oh, beautiful butterfly. Strong transformation energy straight away here, Libra. Renewal, transformation, adaptability. Okay. Brilliant harbinger of change. Release me from my own dark chrysalis. Okay. I do kind of want to mention here, if you look closely at these butterflies, I don't know if you can tell, but they've got little cat faces. They have little cat faces. So I don't know if you can really see that, but they caterflies for some reason. So caterpillar, caterfly, butterfly, and it does mention breaking free from your chrysalis here. So coming into your own this month, Libra, and really coming into the transformation that you've been undertaking within yourself. You really understanding the transformation that you've been in a little bit different. And I want to say for some of you here, the things that you've been kind of pussyfooting around, that phrase is coming through for some reason. Like you've been like treading softly around some of these transformations that you have been going through, and not necessarily like facing them or focusing on them. And this month seems to bring them all into focus a little bit more and bring them out into the open a little bit more, so you can actually spread your wings and take off a little bit differently here. But we'll have a look here for you, Libra. Libra, wild ways of Libra throughout November. Start, middle, and end of November for Libra, please. Libra. Definitely a month of transformation in a few ways here, but not going to lie, Libra, this month might actually be a little bit one of those harder transformations that sometimes it is difficult to break free, because it means that things change, and change is scary sometimes. Change brings around things that maybe we don't want to change, but this is part of your transformation and part of you opening up into the possibilities. Okay. So it's going to be one of those months, I think, where things on the surface may appear daunting, but there is a method to the madness kind of thing. There is a reason these things are happening, all right? Even if they're a bit daunting, scary, you kind of want to go back into that chrysalis and hide from. The start of the month, we have the heart and the whip. The heart, obviously, we see issues around love. We see issues around romance. The whip is, for a lot of you, it's beating yourself up. Self-love issues, conflict with oneself, punishing oneself, fighting your heart is coming through there. For some of you, this is an external issue, whereas others of you, this is an internal issue. So when I say fight, you're fighting your heart. That sounds very relevant to you at the start of November here, Libra, that you're fighting your heart and needing to ask yourself, is your heart yourself or a person in your life that would be you're fighting? Does that make sense? Potential arguments, okay? Arguments around love and passion and what unconditional love means. I feel like that's relevant for a couple of you here, that you're actually having an argument about what unconditional love means to you and somebody else, and trying to get on the same page with each other. That because someone's fighting with you and sort of saying to you, Libra, that's not what unconditional love is. Unconditional love is XYZ, and you're like, no, it's ZYX. So there may just be some issues around those sorts of things. But for others of you, it's really kind of arguing with yourself and fighting with yourself, fighting with your own heart and your own true desires. The things that you actually are passionate about, you're kind of fighting yourself over those for some sort of reason, because, especially with that transformative energy here, that there's part of you that's trying to hold on to what's safe and comfortable, whereas your heart is telling you, no, follow this, do this, you're passionate about this, you love this. And the part of you that's trying to stay comfortable and safe is like, oh no, but that's scary. So you're kind of fighting your heart. Your head is kind of telling you, no, stay where it's safe. Your heart is like, no, go be wild and free and love and love. So you kind of just in a little bit of personal conflict over things at the start of the month here. Once again, rough energy in the middle of the month here. We have the mountain and the fish. For a lot of you, this is focusing on work, focusing on money, that you are needing to really knuckle down and focus on work so that you can have the money to do the thing, to have the stuff. Some of you, this is, obstacles or challenges in your finances. Just a bit of a struggle, it feels like an immovable object in the middle of your finances in the middle of November here, that you can't get around it. You've got to accommodate that that financial thing. You can't get around it. So you need to sort of put in some hard work to fix it, sort it out, kind of thing. It's not impossible, but you really might need to. We have the Tower coming through here with the Stork at the end of the month. For some of you, you really might need to pursue legal options with this obstacle. If you can't get around it, you can't get around it. But there might be legal options that you can take to get over it. All right, if that makes sense. It's there. It's not moving, but there is legal options to climb over it and no longer have it be an issue. All right, because the Tower here, it talks about justice. It talks about It can talk about legalities and things like that. It can talk about, I'm hearing fight the power. It's coming through, very, you might need to take some time to yourself and really, isolate yourself from these situations in order to see them clearly. It talks about the foundation needing to shake up, all right, because the stork here, it shakes things up, it gets things moving, it stirs things up, it stirs the shit out of stuff, so you might need to stir these foundations and rattle some cages and shake some foundations, which legal proceedings would do that, and really, really taking a couple of days to yourself to really work this out, get the ideas that you need, get the new perspectives that you need to work out how you're going to shake this structure down, because this can be governmental structures as well, right? So I'm really getting that for a lot of you, this might be something political or governmental or legal, that you kind of are shaking up. You're coming in with this fresh new idea, and you're like, that's it, I'm stirring this up and I'm stirring the pot until I get things moving. I don't like how this is built. I'm going to come in and shake it up so that it falls to the ground. We can rebuild it in a better way. I don't like the way that you've put this mountain in my way, so I'm going to come through and shake it up and make it topple in front of me. So I do feel like there's a lot of power coming from you towards these issues at the end of the month, like the middle and the end of the month here. That stalk, it's really, you have ideas, and you're willing to shake things up in order to get things moving. So I just want to clarify if we can get any extra information on that for our Libra. Any extra info about that for Libra, please? We have the ship coming through. It could have to do with travel, clearing the way, clearing the path. We have the incense burner there as well. So, allowing the smoke to clear. And once you shake up that tower, the smoke settles and then you've got a clear path through on your journey. All right. So it's not really wanting to talk specifics here. For some of you, it may have something specifically to do with travel, with imports, exports, shipping, something overseas for some of you, overseas, needing to clear the way in some way here. Others of you, it might be a bit more of a spiritual journey that's getting shaken up here. It's part of the spiritual journey, but it doesn't really want to go any more specific than that. You might want to clarify your other placements. Check those out and see if there's any extra layer of information for you there. But that's what we have for you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Scorpios. Okay. Scorpio. Wild child of the zodiac. Scorpio. Love me some Scorpio energy. You guys are great. Happy birthday season, Scorpio. Wild ways of Scorpio throughout November. Scorpio. Calm chameleon. Okay. Versatility, camouflage, agility. Careful creature, cloaked in colors. Bless my heart with peace and patience. Calm chameleon. So you're being very versatile. It's not that you're blending in, it's that you're adjusting in. Does that make sense? You're not necessarily camouflaging, but you're slightly adjusting. It's like if everyone around you is bright yellow and you are red, you're not turning into bright yellow. You're turning like orange. So you're kind of meeting other people a little bit more halfway. It's not it's not completely changing to match others, but it's shifting slightly. You're being a little bit more adaptable to others and to what's going on around you. Peace and patience. Because that's what it is. You're trying to just be a little bit more patient with all these bright colors around you. Does that make sense? Like if everyone around you is bright yellow, you're trying to just be a little bit more patient with that and realize that for some reason it's harder for them to turn orange than it is for red to turn orange. So you're kind of trying to meet them halfway to show them, look, it's okay. It's okay to come halfway. It's kind of like leading by example a little bit, but there's a lot of versatility there. Scorpio, the wild ways of Scorpio throughout November. Wild ways of Scorpio in November. Start, middle, and end of November for our Scorpios. Relatively straightforward messages here, Scorpio. Start of the month, we have the tree and the coffin. The coffin is it's like an end to something. It's a death that brings in a brand new beginning. All right. So it's kind of like this phase of growth, this phase of healing has ended. And you can now, close the lid on having to grow, heal, really focus on taking care of yourself, because you're entering this new phase where you are healed, you have grown, you can just be reborn as that new version of yourself. Does that kind of make sense? That's once again that chameleon that you've been trying so hard. Like I'm red. I've got to be orange. Everyone else is yellow. I've got to be at least orange. I'm currently red. I'm trying so hard to be orange. But now you're kind of realizing, I'm already orange. Cool. I will just be orange. Like now I'm orange. It's kind of like a reminder here to stop telling yourself that you're red, because you're not red anymore. You've done the work for that. Does that make sense, Scorpio? Like that phase that you thought you've been pushing yourself. I've got to fix this about myself. I've got to do that. I've got to stop being like this. I've got to stop doing that. I've got to try harder to be like this. I've got to try harder to be like that. You don't have to try anymore. You are that. You've already achieved that. It's just time to start being that. Does that make sense? It's just practice makes perfect now. You don't need to, you're not trying anymore. You're practicing now. You're not learning anymore. Now you're just putting it into practice. I hope that makes sense. But the middle of the month, we have the Rider and then the House. So good news, you're moving straight into, stability and security within oneself. All right, you're moving into a much more solid, stable point for yourself as who you are, as orange. All right, I know I keep using that as this weird analogy, but roll with it, guys. That's how it's sort of coming through. But it's kind of, good news. There will be some sort of, I feel like for a lot of you, some sort of visible proof for you throughout the middle of November that, okay, I'm more stable than I thought I was. Things in my life are more secure and stable. I've got some sort of mental stability that I didn't realize I had. I have emotional stability, and, look, bang, here's proof that I'm emotionally stable. That kind of a thing. So it's coming through pretty straightforward. For some of you, there is a message here about good news from a family member is on the way for one or two of you throughout the middle of November here as well. But at the end of the month, we have the feminine and the clover. So you're being softer with yourself. You're nurturing the part of yourself that is willing to take chances, because you're realizing, oh cool, I'm orange now. So now I can splash out, and I can go hang out with, not just yellow and red, but I can go hang out with some other colors and try those on. And you're taking risks. You're spreading your wings a little bit, I suppose, jumping in the deep end with things. You're not holding yourself back so much at the end of the month here. You're being a bit softer on yourself with your impulsiveness. So if you're doing things, spur of the moment, impulsively, you're being a little bit gentler with yourself about, that's okay. At least I know now whether that's for me or not. You're taking risks that you maybe wouldn't have taken a month ago, those sorts of things. Because now you're coming from a place where you're able to invest in not only yourself, but other things that you weren't able to invest in before. You're a little bit more secure and stable, so you now can then go and invest in, because if you've got a solid home base, you can then go out and know that you can come back to your solid home base, right? And I feel like up until here, you've kind of been, oh, I don't want to leave this solid home base, because what happens if I leave it and then come back and it's no longer the same? You've just been a little bit up in the air about things, like, and not wanting to go too far out of your comfort zone, but now you're willing to, spread your wings a little bit, take some extra chances, and, take risks. I feel like this is, especially with the emotional stuff, all right? So you're being a little bit more vulnerable. You're taking a risk to tell people how you feel, and be a little bit more open on an emotional level. Okay, so that's what I've got for you, Scorpio. Seems like a relatively, you're finding your way in November, which is a good start, right, for a lot of you. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Sagittarius. All right. Sagittarius, the wild ways of Sagittarius in November. Sagittarius, your overview card, we have the delightful deer. Oh, look at us with our matching horns, Sagittarius. Enlightenment, connection, divination. All right. Mystical companion of the fairy folk, bless me with your sharp sense of sight. So this is all about foresight and intuition. So really, it's really bringing me to the theme of my, my deer horns today. The Elan of the Ways, the ancient British goddess who is, protector of the paths and journeys, guardian of the wild. All right. So it's really giving yourself this month the insight and the clarity to really know exactly where you're going from here and how you're going to get there. It does feel as though there's a lot of clarity coming through for you this month about the journey that you're already walking, and being able to see, okay, well, if I do this is going to get me closer to my goals, and if I do that, it's kind of like a detour and taking me off the path a little bit here. So having a little bit of foresight and really using your intuition this month as well, Sagittarius. Clarifying this message for Sagittarius, please. Wild ways for Sagittarius in November. We're looking for the start, middle, and end of November for Sagittarius. Definitely on the right path, Sagittarius, and being able to trust the path that you are on. We see the cross and the sun coming through first for you here for the start of the month. The cross really does show us that, yes, you're on the right path, that everything is kind of falling into place for you. There are some things still yet to be revealed that will probably be revealed in the start of November here, especially when it comes to do with, the things that you've been carrying around like burdens, the things that you the weight of your responsibilities. There's some things that are going to come to light at the start of November in regard to those things, and it's kind of really going to bring you through into this energy in the middle of November. We have the market and the scythe. So this is like knowing exactly what to trade and what to bring to an end in your life. So it's the trade-offs seem to be important this month here as well, that you're not selling yourself short. You're not you're not selling an ending that is out of reach. You're not you're not telling people go down that path. There's a beautiful waterfall. You're like, no, there's a dead end. So you're not going to guide people down that path, or yourself down that path. You're not trading in, your own happiness for anyone else's happiness, and you're not going to sell yourself short. You're not going to you're demanding everything kind of thing here, which is a good energy for you, because you're not trading off. You're not trading off for less. You're taking happiness and not accepting anything less than happiness this month, because you know that it's kind of part of your fate, part of your destiny to be happy, to find things that make you feel happy, to protect those things. All right. So the trade-off is that, do you know what? I'm willing to cut off anything out of my life that does not meet that. Anything that's no longer making me happy, I'm breaking free from those things that aren't making me happy. And at the start of the month, all these insights that you're having, everything that's coming to light for you here, it's really making you aware of, if I close off that thing in my life, well, then what do I trade that for, kind of thing. So, if I don't have that thing in my life anymore, what's the trade-off that I get from that? And the answer seems to be happiness for yourself here, more than anything. But there really is some really sudden changes occurring in the middle of the month here. Things happening sort of maybe very unexpectedly. You may sort of very impulsively cut people out of your life, or cut things, end things in your life that, once maybe were important to you, but now you're seeing that they don't bring you true happiness. So, that clarity, and you're like, well, the trade-off is that I'm not happy. So, I'm not willing to trade my own happiness anymore. So I'm going to cut that out. So those sorts of things are definitely coming to an end, maybe very unexpectedly, for you in the middle of the month here. The end of the month, we have the stork and the bed. Okay, so that bed energy is quite interesting. It does talk about the need for rest, recuperation of your physical body, but it also does talk about physical activity, sex and those sorts of things as well. I'm also sort of kind of feeling here for a little bit. For some of you, this is involving family as well, because I'm kind of just seeing like a baby curled up in bed with a mother, um, you know, co-sleeping kind of thing. So, especially too with the stork here as well. The stork is actually the pregnancy card. So I did get this for another sign this month for this reading as well. So, just be aware that, you are in maybe a very fertile zone when it comes to potential pregnancies, with the pregnancy card and the sex card right there together at the end of November here. But it really stirs things up and gets things moving, and it's kind of feeling like it's looking at the ways that you achieve rest, and really, maybe stirring some stuff up in the bedroom, spicing things up a little bit here as well, in that sort of side of things. But for a lot of you, it feels like, getting new perspectives and new ideas on what sort of rest you need for your body, like how to energize yourself in new kinds of ways. And, I'm picking up something about dreams as well coming through here. But like really trusting your intuition and your own clarity this month, because you are getting a lot of clarity this month, and it does seem as though you're kind of just being guided by fate here, and everything will kind of just fall into place. But don't be afraid to stir things up a little bit. I do kind of feel that for some of you here, you may be sacrificing a good sleep for something fun at the end of the month there as well, something physical. It might be worth your while to sacrifice your sleep all right? Or for some of you, you are really addressing some co-sleeping issues if you do co-sleep with children as well. So some of you may be looking at those sorts of things at the end of the month there as well. Pretty straightforward messages for you, Sagittarius, but that's what we have. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe, of course, and we'll move on to Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn, the wild ways of November for our Capricorns. Wild energy for Capricorn in November, please. Whoa, okay. That was actually 2 cards, but they sync really well together, to be honest, Capricorn. Firstly, we have the lofty lion. All right, and he talks about fortitude, courage, self-control. Mighty and brave king of the jungle, help me reclaim the hidden power within. So I don't know whether you remember Capricorn, but I did recently introduce a Capricorn video. If you haven't seen that one, this message may actually be connected to that recent Capricorn reading for last week's reading. So because I had heard the phrase Capricorn kings and queens, so I'm getting that energy here again with the king of the jungle. Help me reclaim the hidden power within, which is fortitude, courage, self-control, pride in oneself, leading the pack. We do also see the frolicking fox coming through. Cleverness, deduction, perseverance, playful trickster of the forest, grant me the gifts of speed and stealth. But that does say perseverance, and then fortitude and perseverance are very, very similar. So we do see a lot of strength, a lot of self-contained energy here, a lot of power for you, a lot of strong mental fortitude coming through for you this month, Capricorn. Being very, it's a little bit, they're both very independent. I'm the leader kind of energies, but it's also very, putting myself first, doing what I need to do for myself and my cubs, I suppose. I don't know, kits they are for foxes, right? Kits and cubs. So you're really taking care of yourself first and foremost. And when I say yourself, I for some reason I feel it's important to recognize your pride, your fox babies and your little fox den of family, your close-knit grouping, whoever that is in your particular life here, Capricorn, that you're taking them kind of under your wing as well, and they're included as part of you yourself, and you're sort of standing strong and very, very strong and independent. Survival energy here. Both these animals do what is necessary to survive. There's also something coming in about the color as well. Red and orangey type and colors are coming through strongly here as well with those 2 animals. Pride is coming through really, really strong, but also being smart about it, being clever about the way that you're doing things this month, Capricorn. But and that courage to do what is necessary, because a fox is they do what they need to do for survival. They don't have morals or ethics the way that humans do, right? And a lion, they are a powerhouse. Their strength and courage are their deal. So roar like a lion, that kind of thing. But there's something there about having the strength to do what needs to be done, and even if other people don't like it, which once again feels very connected to the message I got recently for you. Doing what, because I just remember that same little thing about even if other people don't understand or don't like it. So for a lot of you in November, you might be involved in something that others don't understand, that you you get this and you do this and this is what you need to do for you. But people on the outside might not get it. But it's not for them, it's for you. But let's have a look here. Capricorn, the wild ways of Capricorn in November. Start, middle, and end of November for Capricorn, please. You and your strength, Capricorn. Holy dooly. Capricorn. Heavy duty energy. Guys, you guys, powerhouse of strength this month, okay? And it's all you, baby. The start of the month, we see the Mountain and the Tower. So the Mountain is your card. You're climbing that mountain. You're putting in the hard work. Perseverance is a keyword that we're seeing twice now. The keyword for the Mountain, one of the keywords is perseverance. We saw that on, was it the lion? The fox had the perseverance. But, fortitude, that's another keyword for the Mountain here as well. And the Tower, actually. So we're seeing a lot of strong, immovable energy. So, you really are this powerhouse this month. You've got so much strength. It's like, no one can move you from your position, right? You're strong like a mountain. No one can move a mountain. You're this tower all unto yourself that you've built brick by brick, and you're standing tall and strong and firm and powerful and structured. Fortitude. Once again, you are a fortress, Capricorn. It does potentially talk about, a little bit of an obstacle here at the start of the month when it comes to feeling isolated, feeling, there may be some legality issues for some of you that are creating a bit of a challenge at the start of the month here. But ultimately, it being that's your energy, you guys are the ones that know how to overcome that already. And we know already from what we're seeing with those animal cards that this is working in your favor. You're willing to do the work to climb this mountain, to climb up to the top of the tallest tower and, look out over your land kind of thing. It's kind of like a defensive maneuver here that you are so strong and tall and powerful here that it's like, even if there's legal issues, you're at the tip top. You're not being bothered by the peasants down below, right? You're at the top. You're the king of the castle. All right, so strong energy, Capricorn, at the start of the month. Your strength and your inner power is shining so brightly. The middle of the month here, we have the Rider and the Anchor, which is quite strong energy once again. The anchor in itself, pretty immovable as well. That's what we put down to stop the ship from floating away in the storms. The rider is kind of good news on the way, that stability and reliability and dependability, and it's kind of telling me that you're not stuck, that this is not stuck. Whatever this is for you, Capricorn, the good news is that it's not stuck. It might look like it's stuck in the ocean floor here, but you put it there so that you don't float away. All right, you put it there so that you can survive the storm. You can bring it back up anytime that you want. That this is actually secure. It's reliable energy. It's holding you steady. It's not holding you back. You're not allowing it to hold you back. For other people may see this as something that's holding you back, but it's actually holding you steady, which is quite interesting here. So, because I am really getting that external influence is that, anyone looking from the outside in, they're seeing something that is holding you back, but it is not at all. You're holding the reins. You're holding you're the one with the reins here. You're the one holding that anchor, winding it back up whenever you damn well please. You're the one in the power mode here. You're the one, determined to make this work for you. It might not, anchors might not work this way for everyone. they might get stuck energy when they get the anchor, but you're riding on through. You're riding through the night and powering on. You know, getting through those dark nights, those storms. You're getting through them, and you're in full control of when you do need to drop anchor and just chill for a bit, and when you want to lift that up and just keep on sailing. All under your control, Capricorn, and you're moving so strong here. We have the lily and the incense burner. Your kindness cleanses. Your sense of morality, your sense of emotional vulnerability with yourself and with others too, Capricorn. I feel like, you know, at the end of the month here, you really are showing that you are here for the long haul, which you're reliable as well. You know, you've got this anchor under your control, but it's not just this anchor under your control, but it's you as well, that you are here for the long haul, that you're, you know, this is going to hold me strong for the rest of my life. I know I'm strong enough to do this. And, you know, it's clearing the way for anything that's trying to cloud your view. You know, the incense burner really is a very spiritual cleansing, and it's kind of like your kindness and your sweetness and your intimacy on an emotional level is what clears the way for forever. That's an interesting phrase that's coming through, because the lily is a very long-term energy. It's like, it's the things that, you know, we have in our life from here until the end. Okay, it is the retirement card, right? So it's the things that you're going to hold in your life until you're done with this life, and you're clearing the way. I just keep getting this same phrasing of like, you're cleansing something and you're clearing the way, like you're clearing the smoke for something to. One card to clarify what this is for Capricorn, please. What exactly is this in regard to for Capricorn, please? We have the crossroad. We have the crossroad answering us there, which is a, you know, it's a free will. Whatever you want it to be, Capricorn. It's you're clearing the path. Your innocence and your sweetness and your kindness and your emotional intelligence and whatnot. It's whatever you want it to be. It's your whole path wherever you're walking in this world. Where does this take Capricorn? Where does this take Capricorn, please? Loyalty, friendship. We have the dog here. Lifelong companion for some of you. Some of you, this is connected to like love, but on a deeper kind of level. It's a love that's a friend. It's a love that is a lifelong companion, is loyal, is dependable, is, you know, dog's a man's best friend. And it's like, it's choosing, it's clearing the way for, you know, this dog to be on the path with you. You know, the path, you see the path here where you're choosing which direction you want to go. This dog will walk beside you the whole way. So for some of you, this is a person that you're clearing the way. For some of you, you're helping cleanse this person. You're like, and you see that, you can see the angel up here, Capricorn, in that lily card. That's what you're doing. You are somebody's angel. For those of you where this is connected to a person, it's like, I'm hearing a very unexpected phrase. Like, it's like you are the hand of God coming to cleanse this person's soul so that they can walk beside you. Nearly bringing out the swears in me there, Capricorn, because that is heavy duty. For some of you, that is like a very deep personal jam, right? I'm a Capricorn as well, guys, and I feel that to the bottom of my soul, that message. So I hope that resonates for you guys. But if it doesn't, it very well may by the end of the month. All right, there's some strong energy in you this month, Capricorn, and don't hide from it, because it's your strength and your strength of the truth of who you are, and your truth and your peace and your absolute angelness, like, and it's coming through in like, it's a sweet, loving, angel way, but it's also, somebody who's also, an angel that is also very aware of its dark side. It's not hiding from that. It's taking that on board and cleansing that in using that to power the good. So, whatever you're doing this month, Capricorn, like, go you. It's going to be a good month. Yeah. You are more than welcome to check your other placements, Capricorn. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will move on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, the wild ways of Aquarius. What's going on for Aquarius in November? Asking for another shuffle. Aquarius, wild Aquarian energy. Ooh, the warrior wolf. Intelligence, instinct, protection. Fierce hunter and protector. Be the guardian and guide on my journey. It's like you're needing a mentor at the minute, or you're needing to be a mentor this month for somebody. I feel like for a lot of you, this is you being like this beautiful big guard dog for somebody. You're the protector. You're the wolf in the wild, protecting someone, standing up for someone, someone in your little wolf pack, so to speak, it's kind of all it's telling me right this second, but let's move through and see what else it wants to say here, Aquarius. Specifying, start, middle, and end of November for Aquarius. Wild ways of Aquarius in November, please. Yeah, you're being someone else's rock. You're being the rock, but it's for you, but for them. It's weird. We do have the heart and then the child on the bottom of the deck here. So for some of you, this may be a child that you're protecting. This may be, it may not be an actual child, but it may be, somebody's innocence, somebody that you love and their innocence that you're protecting, their inner child in a way that you're protecting. The start of the month here, we do have the anchor and the fox coming through. So with the fox here, you're being very independent. You're being very clever, very smart about the way that you're doing things, very intelligent. But you're being secure, reliable, dependable for somebody. You're holding somebody steady through the storm. So, and this is like, the fox can be a very strong protector as well. They'll do whatever it takes to protect their little, family, their kits, their den. So the fox energy, like you see in this card here, we do have 3 fox images coming through here. So you're putting on the mask of whatever is necessary in order to protect and be the reliable person that this person needs. I do keep getting this same message that this is to do with you protecting somebody else rather than needing to protect yourself. The middle of the month here, we have the bouquet and the spirit. Okay, so the flowers and then the spirit. So, you're giving your time, your love, your energy to your soul more than anything here. The spirit and the soul, and for some of you it could be somebody else's spirit. That's what I'm sort of picking up here, is that the spirit card can sometimes quite literally talk about a ghost, but I feel like this is somebody who's walking through your life like a ghost currently, and you're protecting their spirit, their soul, their sweetness, their innocence. You're protecting that this month, and you're giving your time, your love, your energy to this person. You're giving to this person through your protection, through giving them your time, your love, your energy, and that mentorship for some of you there as well. We also, at the end of the month, we have the feminine and the clover. So the feminine is also very nurturing. So that's once again you being very protective and nurturing this month. You're really taking care of people, or someone in particular for you there. It could be a Sagittarius with that card there. That is the Sagittarius card coming through. But you're very nurturing and nurturing opportunity as well. There may be some impulse control issues around the end of the month for you. So I do feel as though it's linked up to this protective energy though. So just be careful that we're not being impulsive in a negative way. Even if it's in the spirit of protecting somebody else, we still need to protect them by making sure that we're not doing the wrong thing as well, right? Because I am picking up on that for some of you here. That's not nurturing, all right? That's emotional. That's not nurturing. But it's taking chances, taking risks, but it's all about risks to invest in positive energy and invest in good fortune. All right. So for some of you, you may actually be giving advice on how to invest. You might be nurturing investments, like nurturing chances in your life, this person's life. It's feeling very, very linked up with somebody else for you this month. Who is this other person in Aquarius's energy, please? We have the tree. This could be a Virgo. So we're seeing Virgo and Sagittarius coming through. Both are very earthy cards, though, with the clover and the tree. So it could be more so a Virgo, but Sagittarius does vibe quite often with earth energy as well, even though they are a fire sign. But I dare say this is somebody maybe having some health issues. They may be experiencing the need to heal and mature in some kind of a way. They definitely could be family, with the tree coming through to describing who this person is. It definitely could be a family member, part of your family tree, so to speak. Someone that you're really wanting to shelter them from the storm kind of energy strongly coming through here, Aquarius. There may be some health aspects to this as well, with that tree coming through there. You maybe teaching them how to take care of themselves, in a different kind of way, giving them that fighting spirit, showing them how to fight, kind of thing. I'm picking up, depression and those sorts of things coming through a little bit there as well, but not too strong. So that might only be for one or two of you. But that's what we've got for you today, Aquarius. You are more than welcome to check your other placements. If you have an idea of who that person might be in your life, you may want to check their placement as well, and sort of see what's going on their end, and have a bit of a clue on what you're protecting them from. But that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to do that, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Last but not least, on to our Pisces. Okay, Pisces, wild ways for our Pisces in November. What's going on for Pisces in November, please? Pisces. Ooh, the honorable horse. I'm picking up that some of you are getting some sort of recognition, some sort of honor, like some sort of, honorable mention or something along those lines is coming through here. Some sort of award or recognition. It does say freedom, leadership, intuition, swift beast dashing between worlds. Show me your daring and graceful ways. So kind of in between worlds is coming through strong here, but you're kind of, following that, and it's allowing you this freedom to really follow your intuition and grace both worlds at once. So you might be really in a transitional period throughout November for some of you here. But let's have a look through the month here, Pisces. Okay, we splitting the month start, middle, and end for you, Pisces, in November. The wild ways of Pisces in November. I'm also hearing the phrase, wild horses can't hold me back. Wild horses shall set me free. Is that a song? I feel like that might be a song. Pisces, start, middle, and end of November, please. Did I say October a second ago? I feel like October and November, it's like kind of all blending into one for you a little bit here, Pisces. Yeah, it's because you're feeling a bit stuck. You're stuck between two worlds here. You really are in between two worlds at the moment, Pisces. So some of you, are feeling a little bit stuck. We have the anchor coming through first, but then we have the stork. All right, so for the start of the month here, it's like you're feeling very stuck, but also things are changing and things are stirring up and moving really quickly, and you're coming up with new ideas and new perspectives really, really quickly. But there's still something that it feels like there's still something that is kind of holding you back, kind of holding you back from realizing how much is getting stirred up for you right now. So you're kind of in this two worlds, right? Where, on one hand there's the storm, and then on the other hand there's this anchor that you've got sitting there holding you steady through that storm. So the anchor is kind of holding you so steady that you can't even tell there's a storm going on around you in the energy, and things are changing really, really quickly around your energy here. Because there's a part of you that just feels stuck, and it's like, oh, I'm not going anywhere. Everything's boring. This is all going wrong, and it's not happening for me the way I want. But it's kind of like you're focusing on what's holding you down and not what's going on around you, because there's so much going on around you here that you're not even seeing at the minute, Pisces. This is why you're so sort of stuck between two worlds, because you're right here in the middle, but you're only paying attention to one world. You're not even noticing that there's a whole other world there. So you're kind of really in this middle ground at the start of November. I'm not going to lie, it's going to take you a bit of work to get out of your funk. We have the mountain and the woman. Some of you are Capricorn female may be able to help you. If that's one of my Pisces friends, maybe it's me that can help you with whatever this is. Or, because I'm hearing that phrase, what would Jesus do? But it's like, what would Michelle do? So if you're one of my Pisces, that's all you need to do. You just need to think about, what would Michelle say? What would Michelle do? You don't even need to actually come ask me. You just need to think to yourself, what would Michelle do? That's a funny little message for you there. But it's like there's a bit of hard work that you might need to put in, but it's about nurturing your own emotions, because I feel like your emotions and the softness within you is part of this storm that's going on that you're not paying attention to, Pisces. There is a lot going on here that you're not paying attention to, and it's very soft. That's maybe why you're not even noticing these things, because it's actually very softly, but it's very, very busy, hectic, So all the positive ideas are coming here through the softer sides but you're ignoring them. Okay, Pisces, sorry to call you out, but that's why it might just take a little bit of hard work to, get over the obstacles, get over the challenges, get over this blockage, because you can only see I keep hearing that phrase, you can't see the forest for the trees, right? So there's you're looking around at the path that you're trying to take at the moment, and all you can see is this giant mountain blocking your path, but there is so much more going on around this path, but you just can't see it, because all you can look at is this. All you're looking at is, oh wow, there's a big mountain there, but there's so much else as well as this mountain. All right, this mountain is just one part; it's not the whole. And all you need to do is climb it, and then bang, all this other stuff. Okay, so it's kind of really, really needing to see the forest for the trees this month. You're so focused on the negative, the things that are holding you back, the things that are making you feel stuck, the obstacles, the blockages, the delays. You really, really need to shift your focus a little bit here, Pisces. Not going to lie. This is something that, what would Michelle say? Michelle would say, like, I hate to call you out, Pisces, and I hate to be so brash about it, but all that this is going to take is a perspective shift, shifting that perspective, stirring the shit out of yourself, and saying, why am I being such a negative Nelly about this? All I need to do, stop looking at all the negative stuff, start trying to find the positive stuff, and then as soon as you start looking for all that positive stuff, you're like, oh wow, holy shit, there's so much happy, positive shit. Sorry to be brash, but sometimes these things come through this way, and it's like, okay, today I have to slam Pisces a little bit, apparently. I'm sorry. Because you need to hear the message. Sometimes the messages come through that way because you're really having a go at Pisces today, right? All right. I'm here, Pisces, I am hearing, yeah, because you've got to get it through your thick head. So I'm sorry. Don't take that personally, okay? It's been a long night. It's been a long day. The universe is kind of done with my crap today, so we're being a little bit brash. So I'm sorry that you guys are copying it right now. But at the end of November, we have the lily and the ship coming through. Look at the angel coming through for you at the end of November. Look at the journey coming your way. Look at the travel. This is the journey of 1,000 miles. This is, now I'm getting that 1,000 mile song, the Vanessa Carlton song, guys. It's this is that angel on your shoulder is really, I will walk 1,000 miles for you, Pisces. Now I'm hearing that other song, I would walk 1,000 more. Just to be the one steering that ship for you. I'm going to come and do it. You really do have some protection around you. So trust in that. I think that's what the recognition I was picking up on at the start was here, Pisces, is that, the universe is recognizing that, we're on your side, Pisces. You just need to stop seeing that we're not, like, stop thinking that we're not, because we are. We've got angels coming out to play for you here. Definitely on your side. They're trying to move things forward for you here. The end of the month, you may have a long distance journey ahead of you, starting around the end of November here. So some of you may be traveling a longer distance. That is my long-term card, but it's telling me long distance. So some of you may be wanting to travel longer distance toward the end of the month here. But it could just be kind of talking about, the long-term journey that you've been undertaking, and that negative shift, turning that into a positive shift. We're not looking back at how far we've had to go. We're looking at, wow, look how close to the end of that journey I've made it. I've made really good time. You know, what a journey. This has been like the journey of a lifetime kind of thing. It just keeps giving me, you know, physical journey energy. You know, so I do feel as though there is some sort of travel at the end of the month that is going to be significant to you, Pisces. Even if you don't know about it yet, because I feel like a lot of you don't know about this travel yet, and it's very sort of spur of the moment travel. But it's also about being kinder to yourself about the journey, all right, and trusting a little bit more in the journey. That what is life if it's not a journey, right? If you're not enjoying the ride, what's the point? You know, but there's still a long time to go, Pisces, but you've come further than you realize. Yeah, it's just time to shift that negative space out of your head and move forward in a more positive way, where you're not getting stuck on all the obstacles and allowing those to overtake your whole vision, because you need to find your, you know, your true north here. With this, it can talk about your true north as well, like the true journey to where you want to be. Why are you not focusing forwards on the journey that you want to go undertake? Why are you focusing backwards on where you've been, you know, and the things that have stopped you? Don't focus on those. Focus on where you want to be. You know, when it all comes to an end, where do you want to say you've been? What do you want to say that this journey has been? I hate to call my friend out here, but I was talking to me and my Pisces friend have been talking recently about the idea of, you know, soul contracts, and you know, something she's been saying a lot lately has been, I didn't sign up for this. Why did I sign up for this? I swear someone stole my contract and gave me the crappy one. And I'm like, you know, it's all jokes and whatnot, talking as you do. But this is kind of saying that, no, you're looking at it the wrong way. Look at all the parts of that contract that you've already fulfilled. Look at how much of that you've completed. You're not. Why are you looking back at the contract that you signed before you came into this world, when you should be looking at the end of that contract and getting to the end of that contract, you know, so you can sign off on that, done, job completed. It's all part of the journey. So I am really sorry about that being a little bit brash on you guys, Pisces, a little bit maybe confronting, triggering for a couple of you. I'm sorry. But, you know, we take the messages as they come. I'm never going to not be truthful with what's coming through for me. So sometimes it does come through a little bit harsher than other times. And you just happen to be the sign that copped it today. But trust me, the other signs do cop it as well. Not going to lie, usually it's Virgo. Virgo cops it a lot in my readings, which I'm sorry. But, you know, energy shifts, and obviously Virgo gets a break, and it's your turn. All right, but I have had a couple of other signs popping up lately, getting the roused on energy, but I digress. That's what we have for you, though. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements. Definitely keep an eye out for the other Halloween readings. You know, there's 3 sort of November overview videos: the alien one, this one, and then the next one, which will be the love portion as well. Okay, so definitely check those out. Shadow work next week, guys. Keep an eye out for, or is it next week or the week after? The 6th, I think it is. So definitely keep an eye out for that on the full moon, and I will see you all again soon.